I have been gone for 2 weeks, but Albert Einstein once said, the time is relative. So technically I was never gone. And the reason that I was quote unquote gone was because of this conversation. The dreadful chat that you, the viewer, and I, the creator, are about to have. Does Unk still got it? Does Israel Adesanya still have it? And the reason this is such a dreadful conversation is because for people around my age, people who are 20, who started getting into full-time mixed martial arts in the late teens, mid to late teens, through COVID, to now, we've seen a little bit of an arc for Izzy. You know, when he was coming up in the title contention, I was like, this guy's kind of fun, a little bit cocky. You know, I wasn't a huge fan of him when I was younger. I remember when he said that he was going to wrap his wiener around his waist, called a black belt. I was like, what, brother? Anyways, and now I'm kind of in a spot where I want Unk to get it done. I refuse to bet against Unk. But he has now lost 5 of his last 6 fights. And he is now 9th ranked on Tapology, behind Brendan Allen and Fluffy Hernandez and Nasruddin Imavov. Man. You know, this is someone who was undefeated for so long. Goes up to fight Jan Blachowicz. You know, the weight was a little bit too much to handle. He was a little bit too beastie for Izzy. But he comes back down to 185 and continues to defend his title. And then Alex Pereira comes around. And we all know what Alex Pereira is now. But Izzy was winning that fight. Izzy was winning that fight. And whether you think that's a debatable stoppage or not, I thought Izzy was getting the bloody breaks beat off of him. But, you know, in some cases, that fight doesn't get stopped. Anyways, what I'm saying is this guy has won almost every single round he's fought against Alex Pereira. Someone who we are very close to considering the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. Someone who is the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. Then beats him, knocks him out, which nobody's done. Gets his belt back, faces a hungry Sean Strickland, who, you know, when Izzy was knocked down early on in the fight, it kind of felt like Izzy didn't know what hit him. So Sean Strickland wins that fight. Totally fair. You know, one of the biggest upsets of all time. But then Izzy gets another shot at the belt. He gets another shot at the belt against DDP and is winning that fight. And he continued to win the fight. He was piecing him up, and I know DDP's like that. I'm a DDP guy. All of a sudden, he gets subbed. So now those are 2 losses back-to-back that are very like, okay, I get it. But then he faces this can, Nasruddin Imavov, and I think can is the wrong word for it. Someone who just isn't someone who should be beating Israel Adesanya. Yeah, he's quick on the feet. You know, yeah, he's got some pop. Yeah, he's a daggy. But, you know, he's not that great. And Izzy's beating him. And then he slips. Imavov hits him with just a straight. And Izzy was already leaning back, so he slipped. And he retreated to the fence because now he's in a vulnerable position. And then the sniper sniped his head against the cage. It was a fluke. It was a fluke knockout. And then he fights Joe Pyfer. 25 minutes is a long time being there with Joe Pyfer. But Izzy won the first round, and he was winning the second round until he wanted to brawl. And you can't really do that against Joe Pyfer, someone who's only lost to Jack the Joker Hermanson, one of the greatest to ever do it. But Israel Adesanya is clearly the better fighter between Joe Pyfer, Nasruddin Imavov, Sean Strickland, and debatably Dricus du Plessis. So we're going to go over this list, this top 20. No, that's disrespectful. This top 15 and see who Izzy beats. We'll start at the top. Now you got to hear me out. I think Khamzat Chimaev wins that fight. But does Izzy have the best chance out of everyone on this list not named Dricus du Plessis? Absolutely. Does he beat Dricus? No. Does he beat Sean Strickland? Yeah. Does he beat Imavov in a rematch? Yeah, he does. Does he beat Fluffy? It's a murder scene. Does he beat Kyle Barrio? Yeah, he does. Does he beat Joe Pyfer? Yeah, he does. Does he beat Brandon Allen? Come on, guys. Yeah, he does. Does he beat RDR? Now we're starting to get disrespectful here. Yes. Does he beat the Robert Whittaker? Yes. Does he beat RoboCop? Yes. Does he beat the Killer Gorilla again? Yes. Does he beat CLD? This is an excellent fight, and this could be the direction they're going with. If it's not Fluffy for Izzy, Christian Leroy Duncan would be an excellent fight. And if you just want to feed Izzy to the wolves, maybe it's CLD. And, there's a lot of pop in those fists of Christian Leroy Duncan. I'd have Christian Leroy Duncan knocking him out. I think he's better than Joe Pyfer. But does Izzy have a chance? Absolutely. Like, Izzy takes out all of these guys. Maybe not Marvin Vettori, but he takes out all of these guys. Maybe not the Iron Turtle or Kelvin Gastelum. He takes out Ateba Gautier, by the way. He beats Ateba Gautier. So, my point here is Israel Adesanya is still a top 3/4 fighter in the middleweight division. Even though he hasn't won in his last 4 fights, he's going to get the next one. And it's a weird dynamic because you see a lot of red. You see a lot of red here. But we all know, as fans of the sport, that Israel Adesanya beats Khamzat Chimaev. I'm just joking, but it's something to consider. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a quick chat today. And we'll see you guys in the next one.